So today I am going to look at Gemini Phase 1979 to 89 as well as the previous Gemini phases. Gemini is about justice, software, communication, basically technology, youth, news, media, communication. And here is a quote from Mr. T in, I think, the 18. It takes a smart guy to play it out. It's about intelligence. It's about uh, thinking, because Gemini is, that's what Gemini is. It's an intellectual side. It's a light, masculine side, as opposed to feminine and dark or solid. It's also a mutable sign, so it's not very stable. It's very changeable sign. So what happens during Gemini phase, 79 to 89? First is Iranian Revolution. Because of the instability, there's the revolution, and also there's unrest and chaos. Gemini is chaos. There's no calm to Gemini. There's no uh, Gemini is never boring. Um, that's for Capricorn probably, and the Earth signs. Gemini is never boring. It's always exciting, but probably that's not always a good thing. So there you have Iranian Revolution. First space shuttle, that's the technology, because of the intelligence and the intellectual emphasis. There's a there's a improvement and innovation in technology. So you have the first space shuttle. Then again, the first Sony Walkman. This is like the beginning to so much technology, iPod and then iPhone. So this is the beginning stage. The next air sign would be Libra, so that would be even better. Like the next masculine sign is Leo, which just passed by, and we had the iPhone there and the iPod. So the next air sign would be like excellent. Leo phase was great in terms of improvements in technology because Aquarius opposes it. It Aquarius opposite it, so that rubs off on Leo, and still we have so much great stuff. So, but Libra is going to be more about justice, I think personally, because rather than just technology, I think there's an overemphasis on technology. It might not be as good as we think, including me. Uh, thinks that it is. It's probably not as good as we all think it is. In Libra, the emphasis will be on justice, but all this will be incorporated into it. It's both Gemini and Leo phase inventions. Uh, I wouldn't call these inventions. The real inventions are television, radio, which happened in the Capricorn phase. Um, might be biased because I'm Capricorn, but still. Oh, oh, I would say I don't consider these are as invention. These are corporate corporate gimmicks to make more money. That's all it is. But somehow it helped people, and we have all this. The Iran-Iraq war, again, instability. Oh, there's a similarity. Look at that. Gemini is a twin sign. Look at these two nations are extremely similar. Iran, Iraq, same four letters in their uh, names. These are the little things that you see that deep down it's there in Gemini phase. In every phase, deep down, every single thing that happens in that time will be influenced by the phase. You just cannot escape it, which is why people won't see it. Which is why when I speak about it, people won't even see it. It's so deep that you can't see it. It's there everywhere, so you have to be outside of it to see it. Then smallpox eradicated. That's a technological leap. AIDS discovered. Well, dude, this would be like a AIDS is like a hip thing. It is a disease, but it's for the hip community. Gemini is the hip sign. So, and then it's all about being alternative, breaking the tradition. So you have a weird kind of disease for a weird sign. Gemini is a weird sign. So there you go. First IBM on computer. Again, technology really reaches its peak. That's a computer. And then you make this basic thing better. But it's technology. It is in Gemini. You have the real leaps of technology. First IBM computer, MTV again, counterculture, rebellion, and all that. TV culture. Internet invented, again, technology, communication. Uh, then Berlin Wall. I don't need to explain internet invented. If you don't understand, then it doesn't matter if I speak about it, you won't get it. But internet, it is the communications. Basically, Gemini. The number one thing about Gemini is communication. Because Aries is the baby stage, then the Taurus is the baby learns to eat, and then in Gemini the baby learns to speak. So it is Gemini's communication, and that's why internet was developed in the Gemini phase. Berlin Wall collapses, see, structure collapses, a break, boundaries collapse, walls collapse. Then Chernobyl disaster. Again, the whole structure holding back the nuclear plant, it is broken through, and the chain reaction goes out of hand, because that's what Gemini is. Reactions going out of hand, everything going out of hand, chaos. Oh, and it becomes hell, especially towards the end, because it becomes uncontrollable, the lack of control. That's what Gemini is about. Tiananmen Square protests, again, against control, rebellion, protest, breaking through the control, and the structure, fall of communism, especially towards the end it happens, is the most controlling system in the world at that time. Communism falls in USSR towards the end. And in the next Cancer phase, you will have people just saying no to authority, and authority fighting back by being over the top, authoritative, and abusing authority. And now uh, it's complete loss of structure in Cancer phase. And in the Leo phase, you try to put a smile on things, that pretend that things are going well when it's not actually. And then in Virgo phase, you face reality, which is what we are in now, 2017 to 32. You're facing reality of all the things that have happened. In previous Gemini phases, same themes. This is a quote by Leonardo da Vinci. I think this guy. Learning never exhausts the mind. See, it's about the mind. It's about learning. It's about intellect. So, and Leonardo da Vinci was the intelligent guy. Revolt of Tyre. There's a revolt. There's another revolt in Normandy. This is really old times. Revolt of Tyre. Denmark invades England. Again, chaos. Florin coin. This would be most likely to quell some kind of rebellion. They would, or put the people under control. Money is a form of control. Basically, it's not the prosperous thing that people think it is. It's a form of control. Gunpowder has been invented again. Inventions. Mongol invasion of Europe. Mongols invade Europe. So there's the chaos and mayhem. Mongols were especially barbaric. So then Europe is like civilized, and civilization gets broken down. The same thing that happens here. All communism, tenements, corporate, all the structure is broken down. Good or bad, we can't say right now. Of course, now we would say it's bad. The communism and all this is bad because now we are in that time. We just come out of it. There, the same things would happen. Order of Saint Augustine is like it is a strict order, but it is breaking away from the Catholic Church. So it's like twins, Gemini twin sign. That means breaking off. That's what it really means. Seventh Crusade. Again, chaos, mayhem would be especially barbaric. Crusades are, trying to get back Jerusalem by English people. Crusade to get back the Holy Land. I think they succeeded for a while. They got parts of Jerusalem, but then they lost it, and then they just went on going on crusades to get the Holy Land and retrieve some objects that are of religious significance, like what's that thing? Goblet. I can't remember. Chalice. Okay, next one, sweating sickness. Again, I think this was a crazy person thing. People went mad in this sickness. Switch a witch hunter's manual. Well, this is a literary work. It's communication, and this is crazy people. Witch hunters are even more crazy. So craziness goes on here. Leonardo da Vinci's experiments, because it's an intellectual side. Columbus discovers America because Columbus goes away from his homeland and tries to find something new. He would have been a rebel in his time, and getting funding was especially difficult. We would say right now we would think Columbus was a lucky guy. He would have gotten a lot of support, but that wasn't the reality as far as I understand. Columbus would have found it really hard to get funding, and finally the Spanish king, I think, supported him, and he was able to go on a voyage, and it was a horrible voyage. Half the people would have died, or at least a lot of people would have died, and somehow they make it. So it's a crazy thing. That's what Gemini is. Crazy. It's crazy. Cornish rebellion, rebelling against authority. Molasses Act would have been put in to quell some kind of rebellion. System and natural intellectual work. Bavaria massacre. Crazy chaos. Batavia massacre. Chaos. Handel's Messiah. Not sure what that is. This would have been an interpretation on the religious work, which is probably forbidden, and underlying Vedant interpreted the Bible in his own way. That's what handles Messiah is. It's an intellectual work, Gemini intellect. So that's my explanation of Gemini phases. I hope you understood something, and I hope this makes sense to you. Have a nice day.